Hi everyone. Our subject today is Muhammad Authenticated. There is no doubt that we are living in an era in which there has been great suspicion of divine messages, especially the message of Islam, because it is the final message, and the questioning of heavenly messages on the part of non-believers in the existence of God is nothing but a result of their denial of his existence. And some have fallen into questioning the messages, and some of them are young people who live among us who do not have sufficient legal knowledge to protect their minds from being polluted by the taint of atheism and its thoughts that clash the mind and instinct. And because we live in Islamic societies, many have pointed arrows of skepticism at Islam. And they began to raise suspicions about it, throwing it with slanders and lies in order to turn the Muslims away from it and take them out of it. Unfortunately, this coincided with a whim in the hearts of many who wanted to break free from the Sharia restrictions and costs. So they were persuaded by falsely believing that Islam is not a divine religion. And if they worked their minds and pondered the message of Muhammad and searched its evidence with impartiality in seeking the truth, this would lead them to the assertive certainty of the sincerity of the Prophet in his call, and that he is truly the messenger of God and the seal of Prophet. The evidence of the sincerity of the Prophet is very numerous, whether it is traditional or intellectual evidence, and on top of it comes the Holy Quran, the eternal book, and his remaining argument, which represents his sole miracle. Unlike what many fabricated hadith pretend that Muhammad did have miracles, which is not confirmed by any verse of the Quran. So, addressing this issue, we like to present evidences of his prophecy. Number one, honesty. In the beginning of his mission, he called on his relative tribals or relative tribes and asked them or told them, if I tell you some cavaliers in the valley coming to raid your home, would you have believed? They said, yes, we tried you sincere. We've known you sincere. Abu Sufyan announces before Hercules, emperor of Rome, this sincerity and honesty when he was asked by the emperor. As sincere person and trustworthy for 40 years before becoming prophet, cannot suddenly turn into claiming a new religion. Not just like that. Impossible. Number two, patience. If he was not sincere in his call, what would make him endure all the pain he faced, refusing even an offer to be the king of Quraysh, the king of Mecca? Number three, universality of his message. lived all his life in the desert. How did it come to him to claim his message universal, especially in time of weakness, when he was kind of hopeless and helpless, if that was not instructed by a divine being? Number four, great influence. Had he not been honest and with a mission funded by no one, how he could have followers despite the complications and persecution to count nearly 2 billion Muslims today. Number five, God protection. Actually, he was assured by God he will be protected from people while delivering the message, that is. And that is obvious in verse 67 of Surah 5. Number six, he was announced in the holy books. Gospel of John, chapter 16, verse 7, and in the Old Testament, in Deuteronomy, chapter 18, verse 18. Number seven, predictions. He announced many of the unseen about objective laws of nature, of universe, and mankind. Things that he couldn't have had from any source because none was available then, no books, and no such transmitted by translation yet. He predicted the death in battles of three of his generals. In one battle, three of his generals were dead, but he predicted their death. He informed us about the defeat of the Rome, that is the Byzantine, and that they will conquer in few years. And it happened because it is from God to him, the prophet. Now, he brought us details about the embryo and human creation, which was approved and appreciated by science. He could not know if he was not a prophet of God. Number eight, seal prophet. He is announced to be the seal of prophets, and he is. No prophet came after him. Number nine, reproachment. He was reproached many times by Allah. Should he not be a prophet, he couldn't introduce these reproaches in the book. Number 10, considered by authors and historians. Such consideration is never without any foundation. The fact is, they acknowledged him a validated prophet, period. Finally, I would like to close with the story of Abu Lahab, his uncle, that he never dared during 10 years before Abu Lahab died to ruin the mission of Muhammad by simply saying or converting or claiming, I am also saying, I'm a Muslim, but he's a Muslim. Can you imagine that? And if Muhammad was lying and he deceived everyone, or someone deceived him, but not both, in either way, where he got the confidence to say he's a prophet? I mean, it takes a lot of courage, a lot of everything. And even then, not easy to claim such claim. And if he wrote or brought the Quran from his head with or without help, he should have at least mentioned details about his griefs and tragedies, the death of his sons and daughters, and especially his wife Khadija. In conclusion, Muhammad was loved dearly by his companions for the truth and tidings he brought them. He was accounted for to be Prophet of God for all the evidences above as the messenger of Islam. Prophet of God and the messenger of Islam. Now, I would like to point or to address a big shame on all downtrodden fanatic mouthpiece of mercenary or any other authority or leader to keep their drum beating in denial. And it suffices what Allah says in verse 33 of Surah 9, At-Tawbah. He says, God says, it is He, meaning Allah. The verse says, it is He, the He here is for Allah, who sent His messenger, which means Muhammad, with guidance and religion of truth. So it is Allah who sent, it's a confirmation, sent Muhammad as prophet and messenger of religion of truth, Islam that is, to proclaim him over all religion, to proclaim Muhammad to be over religion, which means without Muhammad there wouldn't be this religion. Even though the pagans may detest, despite that the pagan, his people of Mecca wouldn't like it. Thank you.